Hey guys, Altavis Pelzer here, your voice manager. I unmute the voice of women, ready to speak up about what has kept her silent for way too long. I'm excited because guess what? We've been doing this Power of Why series. And if you haven't tapped in, if you have not shared it out, if you have not listened in and took some notes, I need you to make sure that you are okay. Because these ladies have been dropping gems each and every episode. They've been going all the way in and sharing some really powerful things when it comes to their own personal power of why, and also some of the people that they've worked with. That part is so super significant. But it doesn't stop there. I told you guys, this is a whole series. We are going to end the year strong with this series because I want to see you make some significant changes in your life and tap into the power of why. With that being said, hello, Irene. How are you?
Hi, Anthology. I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it is my pleasure. And I know what you do, but I want the studio audience to hear what it is that you do. So let them know a little bit about yourself, and then we'll dive into today's topic.
Absolutely. Well, my background is actually sales and marketing, and I'm a writer just like you. We were talking about how we pretty much were born as writers, right? Their poetry from the middle school. But I was a realtor for a long time, and something was pulling me to do something more. And I knew I wanted to be a writer, that was what I wanted to do. And I took the plunge. I burned the boats, started my business, started a blog, published my first book. And after I wrote my first book, people kept sharing incredible stories with me. And they were more interested in how to write a book than in my weight loss book. So I kind of shifted. And that was when I created The Power of Writing, because the power of writing is just, it can change your life. And one book can change your life. Only 2 months after I wrote my first book, I became the health and fitness expert on a live radio show, an international live radio show. And that is the impact that one book can have. So now I help aspiring authors and authors write your story, share your unique experience to live the writer's life and live life on your terms.
Oh, I love that. Yes, definitely have been writing. I think I came out of the womb writing. I might have been writing inside the womb. You never know at this point,
Probably.
but definitely had that creativity. That was always me. I could write a letter to you before I come and talk to you. That was just part of the way my life, my mind worked.
And
But man, when we talk about the power of words and the power of writing, we definitely see that some, even when it comes to our goals, when it comes to what it is we want to do, we're told to write it down because a lot of times when we keep it in our head, let's just be honest, it gets lost with the laundry and the food we got to pick up from the supermarket. And
exactly.
so when you first started writing, what was that first thing that made you just sit down and just write? Because I know a lot of times when it comes to people who are saying that they want to get a book done, they say, I don't have the time.
Well, like you, I've been writing my whole life. So for me, it just kind of flowed naturally for me. But time is one of the things, but also imposter syndrome, I think, is huge. And the idea of writing a book seems daunting to so many people. And for me, I was always an A student in school, but my sophomore year, I had my English teacher actually fell ill. And we got a substitute permanent teacher for the rest of the year. So he wasn't an English teacher. And I got my book report back. And on the paper was a big red C. And there were no notes explaining what I had done wrong or how I could improve. This is going to affect my grade. So I was kind of this geeky, awkward kind of kid with glasses, and I would break them that have tape wrapped around the side, because we were, poor growing up, right? I mean, I'm that kid, right? Kind of an introvert, but I needed to talk to him. So at the end of class, I went up to him and I was terrified, right? And I went up to him and I said, could you please tell me, why I got a C on my paper? And he said, it was a bad paper. You're a bad writer. And I was like, whoa. And I was like, well, can you just tell me how to improve? Right? So now he's just going to give me a C on every paper. So long story short, all these years later, I still hear his voice as if it was yesterday in the back of my head. You're a bad writer. And I don't care how many people tell me, I love the way you write. That gave me chills. You have a gift. I still hear it. I still deal with imposter syndrome. So if I can do this, you can do this. Okay. And we all have the same 24 hours a day. So it's not that you don't have time. It's that you haven't chosen to make writing your book a priority. It's a choice. Turn off the television. Don't watch The Bachelor or whatever you're watching. Or, what I say is, I like the 10-minute rule because 10 minutes, everyone can squeeze in 10 minutes of something, 10 minutes of exercise, 10 minutes of writing, 10 minutes to reach out to that long lost friend you haven't talked to or whatever. Everyone has 10 minutes to spare. And sometimes that 10 minutes turns into an hour. And you're like, well, I just wrote 3 chapters. So just commit to 10 minutes a day. A couple other writing hacks are to use like an emotional trigger. So get your cup of coffee or your lemon water or your tea, whatever your thing is. Go to your little spot. When I started writing, I got a new desk, a new chair, a new lamp. I made a little corner for myself. Of course, most of the time I ended up writing in bed because I would get up with an idea, grab my laptop to, start typing away. So
I live that same life.
Right. Yeah. At the kitchen table. But that space, just knowing that space and looking at it, and I kept it clean and neat, and I rarely wrote there, but I would look at it and it would make me want to write. So there you go.
Yes. Oh my goodness. So, okay. So 2 powerful things that you really hit on, 2 gems that you dropped. One was dealing with the imposter syndrome. And people often think that even when it comes to you standing on a stage and speaking, when it comes to you writing a book, starting a business, you feel like that it's just going to, go away. And it doesn't always go away. And so I thank you for being so transparent in that moment, because a lot of people think that, so when I get it done, I won't feel this way anymore. And that's not always the case. But you have to be deliberate in saying, I'm going to do it anyway.
Exactly.
I'm going to do it in spite of.
And it never goes away. It never, ever goes away. And I didn't realize that until I started really studying it, learning about it, that even rock stars get nervous, and it doesn't go away, but we can manage it. And how I manage it is I tell myself, I'm not showing up for me. This is for you. I'm here doing this Facebook Live, even though I'm not comfortable on camera. I'm not comfortable. It's not about me. It's about my message and helping you. And when somebody writes a comment below my live and they say, oh, how did you know I needed to hear that today? Thank you for that. And that is what helps me overcome that challenge. And there was a time, and I'm not, my thing is podcasts. I was the podcast queen for a while. I was going on so many shows every week, radio shows, live shows. I was it was amazing. And I went through a difficult time in my life. I had to take a hiatus. And then when I was trying to get back into it again, I got booked on 6 shows, within a week. And then I didn't go on any of them. I canceled all of them. I didn't even schedule them. I just said, I apologize. My schedule's, I just couldn't do it. I wasn't ready. And it took my taking a Get on TV challenge with the Super Connectors. And I got an accountability partner who's now my dear friend, who will be a friend for life, amazing people you meet. And it was when Jen Gottlieb said a couple things. One, so she was a host on an MTV show for 14 years. And now she and her partner started this super connector. They help people get on TV. And she said, famous rock stars would come to be interviewed by her on the show. And I was so nervous to meet you. And she's like, even the biggest stars have imposter syndrome. And what she suggested was she calls it I don't want to swear. She calls it is it okay? Because I don't want to she calls it your bad self list, your bad.
Got it. Okay.
I don't want to go there with this show. I keep it clean. So, but she says, think about, literally write down something that you have accomplished, okay? Something amazing that you've overcome, something you've accomplished, and write a list. And, this is my bad self list. I did this, I did that, I did that. And then just read that to yourself and say, see, I can do this too, because I accomplished that goal. I did that. I did this. I wrote a book. I was a health and fitness expert on a radio show. I belong here. And that can also help you boost your self-confidence to do it, to go after that dream that is calling you, that you're afraid to take that leap. So
I love it. I love it. And then the other gem that you dropped was about the time piece, because so often they do say, I don't have enough time, but no, are you really looking at the time that you have and saying, okay, I don't have enough time because I'm doing busy work. Am I doing productive things, or something that and this is a really hard one. And when we think about the power of why, this will really shift you when it comes to your time, is because my power of why will drive me to say no to things that are draining my time.
Yes. And that's why you're so successful, because you have to do that. You have to say no. And speaking of the power of why, we haven't even touched on my why, right? I love that, the power of why. It's so inspirational. It's so real. It's so authentic. And I really have two whys. And when my sister was 46, my dear sister Natalie, when she died of breast cancer. And I knew she kind of wanted to be a writer. I knew she was going to Toastmasters, but I didn't know that how much she really wanted to use her voice. She had a message, but she died at 46, and I'll never know what that message was. And once I got the strength to go through some of her things, I was going through boxes and boxes of books, and I found not one, not two, but more than 10 books on how to be a writer, how to write a book about writing. And I thought, wow, and it's not too late for me. And it was that I don't know if it was that week or that day, I Googled how to be a writer. And I joined a writers association. I started taking writing courses. I started going to writing conferences, and I started writing. And that was when I decided it's not too late for me. So if you have a book inside you and you've been wanting to do this, I hope my story, and this is the story I share in The Power of Why, I hope that my story inspires you. Do it before it's too late. If you have a message, once you're gone, no one will know what that message is. Use your voice. Just do it. Take that plunge. And that's really what pushes me to get going. And then all the little wins across the way.
Oh, I love that. Speak Easy podcast listeners, tap into your power of why. Your voice is needed in the world. Your voice is needed in your community, in your homes, in relationships. Your voice is needed. And when you understand that there is someone specifically waiting to hear your voice, it definitely changes things for you. So oh my goodness, that was perfect, Irene. Irene, let them know how they can reach out to you for more information and also where they can find you at online.
Okay. So my website is irenegabelnick.com, and I offer a free guide. It's 10 easy steps to start writing your book today. And I take you through getting started, overcoming that daunting feeling, how to make time to write, the best way to publish your book. And it's a free guide. You can also get it at thepowerofwriting.com. So both websites, you can download your free guide right now. And I'm Irene Gabelnick all across the board on all the social media networks.
I love it. Speak Easy podcast listeners, remember, we appreciate each and every one of you, and we want to see you elevate in life and business. Guess what? Without the Speak Easy listeners, there would be no Speak Easy podcast. So make sure that you are coming and joining the conversation. bit.ly/World Voice Community. Come join the free Facebook group, or you can definitely leave us a review on your favorite podcasting platform. We want to know what it is that you have going on and how this particular episode resonated with you. With that being said, I am your host, Altavice Pelzer, your voice manager. And until next time, guys, don't forget to press it out. See ya.